with their C-suites, and we look at their health management. And the main focus of things that we look at their stress, we look at their mental health, we look at the sleep deprivation, and then we look at how to optimize them to a much healthier person. So we don't look for sickness. We look at how to bring a person to an optimal level in their daily life, in their movement, in their general health, memory, and so on and so forth. Okay. So that's who I am. My history has been in developing luxury clinics for great developers like the ones in China. I've also managed a stem cells, if not a regenerative medicine clinic in Germany for about 5 years, some years back. And prior to all that, I was a publisher at Spa AC Magazine, a very successful wellness publication for about 11, 12 years. So that's my history. And I'm so honored to have you guys here with us this evening. Let me introduce you a little bit of what we're going to be doing this evening. Tonight's agenda is pretty straightforward, nothing too complex, simply because I think this is a little bit of a post-Chinese New Year blues, if you may. But definitely we are working towards a very aggressive year ahead because simply because there's so much for us to do with what Zinzino has to offer. And some of you may already know that Zinzino is at the pre-launch stage at the moment. So meaning to say May this year, they will be officially launched. So we are at the pre-launch stage at the moment. So it allows us to be able to enjoy some very comfortable, forgiving kind of exercises, forgiving by way of saying that if you miss something and we overflow over a certain deadline, we are able to reset it, little things like this. So we're very, very fortunate that this lineage of ours, this line, meaning my upline and all, which means your upline as well, we are just 4 steps away from the founder, whom I will introduce to you in a moment, okay? So the agenda for this evening is to introduce you the background of the company, who is Z-Dream Team, which is us. This team was set up by me when I first stepped into this Zinzino business, and I felt that I cannot function by myself. So I set up a small little team, and this team is now able to facilitate, if not support, everyone we have underneath us. So that's something that I like to share with you. We are developing a lot more tools and a lot more materials underneath the Dream Team to facilitate your better function. Okay. Tonight I'll talk about. Hi. My co-host, can you mute them, please? Thank you. This evening, the topic would be also a very short reminder on how you should not allow your health to be a mystery. So the idea here is to every week to give you a little bit of an insight to health perspective as well as the business side. So every Monday we get together to talk a little bit about the partners' insights, if you may, okay? So I strive each week to share with you some information on health and some information on business. And the 4th topic for this evening is using the tools or working the tools. So at this point, I'd like to bring your attention to something that I wanted to introduce permanently for now, here on after. Every second Wednesday of each month, which is next week, next Wednesday, all right? Second Wednesday of each month, I will be doing the new partners induction program. Now, some of you are very new, if not just about to sign up to be a partner today, which means that you would have missed out a lot of basic information from how to work the Zinzino oil and right through to the principles and the fundamentals of the medical science behind it, and so on and so forth. So rather than me repeating each week, what I like to do is to dedicate once a month. until we get busier. That's where I do maybe twice, 2 times every month. But for now, every second Wednesday of the month, the first one will be next Wednesday on the 10th. I will be doing the new partners induction. So meaning to say, I rewind everything to a couple of months ago when we started to talk, and maybe I can talk a little bit better now because I have quite a few weeks of training, if not experience now talking to you guys. And during that session, I'll be taking you back by way of introducing the first beginning of what Zinzino oil is all about and how it relates to our health and so on and so forth, okay? So that's going to be every second Wednesday of the month, and it's dedicated to the new partners induction program, okay? So moving forward, Zinzino has a very interesting, if not very inspiring motto, and that's to inspire change in life. And as I was sharing with a few of you just now into my second bottle of Zinzino Balance Oil, I've already started to see a change in the quality of my life, all right? So that's interesting to see what Zinzino's motto is. Now, this particular gentleman is Oren Sell. He is from Sweden with his wife there, Hilda. They are both the founders and co-founders of Zinzino. They've been around for 16 years, and it is over the last 6 years that they started to bring this fabulous product across the world through the MLM, the multi-level marketing network. So they have been working on this for a long time. They are also a public listed company, which I'll share with you a little bit more in a moment. And during this period of time of 16 years, they developed a range of products best suitable for optimum health. So they are very smart company. I call them a unicorn company because until to date, they are still the only company in the world that is serious and brave enough to talk about putting evidence base to their supplements program, okay? So meaning to say, all the companies that you see mainly out there, when you have supplements and all, they would have you consume the supplements without asking you to start from a given point. So we all, when we consume supplements, we don't know where we are. So that's actually no good. The philosophy of Shante Sanctuary, my clinic, is that we always start people off from a given point. And it's always evidence-based, based on data. We do blood tests and we start to have people consume their minerals or vitamins at the level that they need and for the time that they need to consume it. Zinzino impressively presents itself very similar to the principles of what Shante Sanctuary has to offer. So here, very quickly, what they have is you consume the oil for 120 days, personalized to your weight. So you consume the oil according to your weight. And in addition to that, you do a dry spot blood test, the beginning of the program, and then 120 days then after. So there is accountability for the entire experience that you're going through. So it's not really someone says, okay, fine, you start to take 2 tablets a day, 3 times a day for as long as you can take it, or as long as you take it. That seems to be very irresponsible as far as I'm concerned. And that is why even our clinic, we don't practice like this. We always practice in a very accountable fashion, and everything has to be evidence-based. So in that retrospect, I deem to call Zinzino a unicorn company because they have been able to incorporate a test-based nutrition program into their offering. So that's really brave. And I thought that's really admirable. And hence I'm involved in it. And I'd like to share this with you this evening. So as I was saying, they're 16 years old, public listed company based out of Sweden in Europe. They are today 37 countries open across more in the Western bloc in Asia, they've just started to arrive the shores of Hong Kong and China, October 10th, if I'm not mistaken, last year. And as I mentioned just now, Malaysia, Singapore are just in our pre-opening stage at the moment, so it's very, very early still. But in this game here, I'd like to impress upon you that it is everything about your timing and also the position. Understand that this is pre-launch, to say very few far in between people in the marketplace understands or has heard of Zinzino, which means the opportunity is abundance, is huge out there. So this is something that we are privileged to enjoy. And also the positioning. We are in that very early infancy stages that really there's no one much above us. So as I've said, you know, I've only four people above me per se, and I don't think we're down to maybe a dozen of people underneath us. So the timing and the position is perfect. So take note of that, okay? So I'd like to share with you on that pertaining to the company. So back to Z-Dream Team, we have this funny motto that I thought I want to incorporate this. You know, when we help someone, and my pleasure and my honor and pleasure is to help people have a better quality of life. So the whole idea here is to put more life into the years of people. So it's not about anti-aging, it's not about living long and not well, but it's living long, have a long life, but with quality of our life. That is very, very important. So our motto that I've chosen for this particular group is we don't just strive to add more years in your life, meaning we just don't want you to live long, but we want to have more life in your years. So meaning to say, we want you to have better quality in your life as we help you to live longer. So disease-free and healthy with a quality of life is really the motto that we want to move forward with. So this evening talk is everything about and for business partners of the Z-Dream team. So for that, I've taken the trouble to ensure that everyone that is in the audience right now this evening enjoys personalized presentation. So you, in your welcome kit, you would already receive your personalized presentation. So you have to send and communicate with the team. We have a team in the back office. Marvin is a very able gentleman that helps communicate pertaining to back office. Kate pertaining to clinical issues and questions on health and how to consume the balanced oil. We have Joanne, which is an assistant of mine that deals with communications. So all these beautiful materials that you receive is a creative work of Joanne, all right? So everyone gets to receive your personalized presentation. You have a personalized e-card for your handphone that's easy for you to send to people to introduce yourself. And also when they click or scan through the QR code, it goes right to your personal web shop. Remember, everything ends up in the business, right? So that's where the fun is. So we've given everyone an e-card. There will be a professional induction, as I mentioned just now, for those late just sign in. Next Wednesday, every second Wednesday of the month, I will be conducting the professional new partners professional induction session. So that session is to talk about all that you need to know as you step into the business, okay? So there will be educational empowering tools and talks that we will have periodically. We invite different people to come on board, and then there will be hands-on training to manage your back office by Marvin, all right? So we have a nurse, as I mentioned. She's there, Kate, to help you to better understand of the issues. Now, in addition to all that, all business partners of the Dream Team gets to enjoy a very, very ingenious tool that we have in the clinic. But unfortunately, I'm only in Kuala Lumpur, so I've gathered the people all over the country right now. There's some Malaccas and some up north. This tool helps to measure stress level, help to measure autonomic profiles, as well as your arterial health. Arterial health reflects the hardening of arteries, which is an offset or the onset of inflammation state in your body. When our body is full of inflammation, which I'll talk a little bit about this evening, our arteries harden up. And when it hardens up, it actually reflects and has a potential of blockages. So this particular assessment allows you to bring your customers or your prospect partners to the clinic to very quickly, within 3 minutes, to have some scope or some idea of where their state of well-being is. Now, we normally sell this test for 400 ringgit, but for all partners and all customers of Z-Dream Team is absolutely free, okay? And the idea, the ultimate idea is, from the report in itself, it would recommend the person as to what are the steps for them to take. Now, you see, when I realized this Zinzino program in the beginning, I found that you really need to wait a little bit. And I experienced from a few people that they will say that, oh, let me wait for the blood test to come back, then I'll take it. I thought, no, that's silly, because you really don't need for people to wait that long. So I basically register your customers and what are the kind of products to kickstart the business for you, if you may, right? So there are all kinds of product materials. As we go along now, we are increasingly developing more and more materials, and all these are done internally. It's not done by Zinzino, simply because I found that it's easier for us to break it down into smaller pieces of information to share with you, so that you can then further share onwards, then on after. Now, today we have it in English. We're working towards introducing Chinese, and then subsequent to that in Bahasa, okay? So these are flash cards that you have, and it's quite easy for you to just use it and then send it on a SMS messages. Now, we have also simplified rate cards for different product ranges. So these are also made available for you. You can print them out yourself, or you can come out to the clinic and have them printed, and you can use this as a guide, if you may, for you to have an easier communication. Now, so far with all the customers I've dealt with, what I've done is I've sent them whichever package that I see necessary or I deem fit, appropriate for them to transact. So I send them that sheet rather than send them a master list with all the products, and it's very confusing. So sometimes I will talk to them a little bit about what's their budget, and I'll investigate further whether are they better off as customers, or are they better off as a partner. So these are the moving on. This is the actual web store, and that e-card is on the phone that I have displayed here. That's really useful. I use that to send it to customers, and all they have to do is to just go into the web shop on the card there and be able to buy and then pay online, so you don't have to worry about everything else, okay? So and of course it goes without saying that there will be a lot of training videos that we have to share with you as well, okay? Now, these are the social media portals that we have created. We have a dedicated YouTube channel, Instagram and Facebook. Now, these are generic information, so this does not sell me or does not sell anyone in particular, but it allows you to very quickly gain access to materials out over the World Wide Web through social channels when you need to talk to people, okay? So that's something that we created for the ease of your use. So that very much covers Z-Dream Team's offering. Excuse me. And this evening, what I want to touch on, you see, I was thinking not to talk about health, but it seems like it's almost impossible for us not to talk about it. So I'm going to touch on a little bit on how to optimize your health. And this would be something that may come across quite repetitive because we've done several talks about it. The message here is, don't let your health remain a mystery. And for that, we all know that I've mentioned just now, is a test-based nutraceutical program that Zinzino has to offer. So with this, what I'd like to start off with this evening is, What are the leading causes of death? We all know that. This is something that a lot of our customers, a lot of friends out there are worried about. Heart disease is one. I'm guilty of being one of the very famous broken heart person. So I have a heart condition, for example. So that's part of my challenge. And if there's any way that I'm going to go, I think my broken heart is going to take me. So the other concerns will be stroke, chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, respiratory infection, Alzheimer's and dementia, your trachea, bronchi, lung cancer issues, diabetes, some accidents, the road injuries that we cannot control, obviously, is an accident. And some diarrheal disease is basically going to do with your bowel. So that's a lot of issues. So colon cancer and all these are part of that worry a lot of people have. Tuberculosis is one, but it's really not a major concern these days. However, all of which actually drive towards the underlying causes to these kind of fatal health threats, if you may. And that underlying problem is unquestionably due to chronic inflammation, right? We all understand a lot of chronic diseases are due to chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation, if you look at it backwards, is caused by the imbalance of food that we consume. So in this case that we're talking specifically is excessive omega-3, I beg your pardon, excessive omega-6 vis-a-vis omega-3 that causes the imbalance that results to inflammation, and inflammation in our system causes the chronic diseases. So I hope you can see that connection between them all, right? So the overlooked causes of inflammation, as I mentioned just now, is primarily due to the oversight of the food that we eat. Most of the diseases that we face today, I would say, except the accidents that we mentioned about just now, has got to do with the food that we consume. We are what we eat, and everything starts from the gut, and it should be able to be in at the gut level, right? So the negligence or the oversight that we have these days could very well be that we are consuming far too much omega-6 through our very poor diet outside, and we don't get enough omega-3 because the source of omega-3 is just simply not available to us, right? And that's because of the poor food supply that we have, and hence we are really not getting the kind of quality of food that we are getting. So this disproportion, this out of balance of omega-6 that causes inflammation and subsequent results to chronic diseases is the culprit, okay? So that's one of the oversights that we have. And the fatty acids that we really need to understand at this moment is basically needing to get our hands on fatty acids or essential fatty acid that works. Now, omega-3 we know is the good oil that really helps us. But let me also say that omega-6 is good. However, excessive, too much of omega-6 is very bad for us. And that's the culprit, as I mentioned. Now, it is just not that we get good omega-3 oil, that will be it. Now, a lot of people claim that they have been taking omega-3 oil for many, many years, but the larger population of them do not see great improvement on it. And what's the reason? And the reason is simply because these oil that they have over the counter in the pharmacy, I had in a separate chat a display of different products that we did a little bit of a survey. None of these products, so 9 out of 10 products that we saw out there have this magical, if not very smart mineral, and that's the polyphenol. Polyphenol is the pre-harvested olive oil, cold pressed, so extra virgin, if you may, pre-harvested olive oil that is combined to the balanced oil to allow omega-3 in the bottle to perform much better in its lifespan, besides the great values that polyphenol has to offer, okay? So polyphenol in itself, the olive oil, the pre-harvested olive oil, is already very powerful in terms of its performance, But when it's combined to omega-3, it allows the omega-3 to have a much longer lifespan so that it can work much better in our health. So that extension of lifespan is almost 5 to 6 times longer by comparison. So that's really very important. And the benefits of omega-3, as most of you would know right now, it fights depression. It also helps eyesight, brain and heart is two primary support that omega-3, if not balanced oil, helps to support. Now, as you know by now, 60% of our brain is made of fat, but it has to be good fat, right? So omega-3 oil from Zinzino's balanced oil is one that gives us the fat, if not the oil that we need to have it properly lubricated. So the oil works on a cellular level. So when our brains, which is basically very important to us, same thing with our heart and arteries, and by that I don't mean exclusively to these organs, I mean inclusively everything else within our body, it provides the support that it needs, okay? So it also reduces symptoms of ADHD in children. So this attention deficit syndrome is very, very important. Now, as you probably know, those have kids, that their attention is very short these days. Now, this helps them. Now, I've also spoken to someone, in fact, just this afternoon, that she has given her daughter the balanced oil just over 2 weeks. She found that she's less hyper, and she's able to focus, and she's able to communicate a lot better. So it helps kids as well. It fights autoimmune, and it also prevents cancer. D3 and vitamin E is the added minerals within omega-3 balanced oil, okay? So there are whole other arrays of benefits of this particular oil. Omega-3 sources are from, of course, in this case here, mackerel, sardine, and anchovies. These are the harvested fish where Zinzino have actually procured the pure oil from, okay? Omega-6 are also able to be obtained through most nuts and seeds. In this case here, again, as I've said, you need omega-6, you need omega-3, but too much of omega-6 will get you into big trouble. We just simply don't get enough omega-3, so therefore there's no need to talk about, you know, how much excess omega-3 we may consume. So the other slide is to ask about, you know, how much is enough, or do you know how much of omega-3 or omega-6 to take? So in this case here, what Zinzino has to offer is that that dry spot blood test. Typically, what we do is one little small prick on the 2 little small dots on a blotter card. This is a dry spot blood test. So you drop two drops of blood on the 2 little circles. You wait for it to dry a little bit. You slap it into an airtight bag, and you send it to Norway. Within 2 weeks, the result comes back to tell us what are our balance between omega-6 and 3 looks like, okay? Within the report, it actually tells you also other values, and one of the values is protection value against oxidation or oxidative stress in your health. So meaning to say how protected you are against oxidation. Oxidation is when things turns bad, and is also the reason for inflammation, right? So these are the kind of issues that you are given the results to better understand. The omega-3 index gives you the value of where you are, and along with the the AA, the error. How do I pronounce that? Anyway, AA values in your system. Okay, so the oil actually. Sorry about this. I live not too far away from a mosque, so I think you're getting it from my earphones as well. Here we have a few tips on how to basically live better with Zinzino oil. It helps you to have a healthier life. It actually helps you to sleep better. As I mentioned just now, my mobility is a lot more better improved these days. I'm still relatively stressed, but I'm better managed. I sleep a lot better, and my mind, when I think about things, is a lot clearer. So this is basically what Zinzino all has to offer. Now, let me move into what I really want to talk to you this evening about. And it's about looking into the horizon of Zinzino business. A lot of us now, this is maybe into my third month in running or working on Zinzino. And I've seen myself, along with a lot of colleagues, if not friends, within the Z-Dream team, everyone is actually looking at how to do the business. Now, the product in itself is very, very simple. There's one test, a test that is accountable for the product's performance or the quality of the product. And then you have the product Zinzino Balance Oil, that is laced with polyphenol and D3 and E. Is a high performer. That's the hero product. And the third product that they have to offer is a very powerful, very useful skin serum. All right. So today in Malaysia, and for many more months to come, I think we're not seeing any new product being introduced until the second, if not third quarter. Maybe third quarter is more realistic, where I think they're going to start to bring in maybe a vegan, a vegetarian olive oil, sorry, the balance oil in vegan form. And then there is another product for our probiotics, for our gut health. But that's going to come later in the year. But for now, simply, there's only 3 products. There's a test for the oil and a serum, which is really what everyone's looking for. And the serum is very, very hard working. So back to the business. So I think it's fair to say, you see, when I came into this business, I wasn't looking at making a lot of money, or I wasn't looking for making money so very importantly. But of course, it's important that we don't waste our time and we are well compensated of our time and efforts. But I also realized that one of the reasons why I was doing this was because the product A was so very, very good. And as I've said earlier repeatedly, the accountability of the balance test is also so very valid and so very reasonable. So when I got into this and I persuaded some friends to come on, I realized that they are also looking at some financial rewards. So if I ask you, if you can get 2,000 ringgit more each month to your daily livelihood, to your daily lifestyle, would it help you a lot? Would it help your little extra indulgence or extra pair of gym shoes, or to help your kids to have I don't know, an extra whatever Game Boy or whatever they do these days? I think it makes a lot of difference to a lot of people's lives, right? So that's 2,000 ringgit. But what if I tell you that through very simple steps, we can get you to within 3,000 to 5,000 ringgit kind of a revenue, extra income, or income that you can see going on for a period of time? I think it may increase a lot of people's quality of life, right? So in addition to whatever they're already making outside, isn't it? So I think this is something that it brings a lot of ambition, a lot of wish to a lot of people, if they could do with an additional 2, 3, 5,000 ringgit extra in their monthly capabilities to expense. I think it does a lot of good. For me, maybe I can play at better golf courses, or maybe buy a better golf set, whatever. But I think a lot of people would have your own personal concept or perception how to have a better, improved quality of life. So my mission from this week onwards, on every week, is to help you to better understand through very baby steps. Now, there's a few of partners that I know in this group chat to this evening that is looking at making a lot of money over a very short period of time, and only because they have experience. They are experienced MLM professionals that has gone out through the other programs and made a lot of money in the past. And now that, as I've said, they have identified a great product at a great timing and cannot be better ideal placement. So the positioning. So that's why they are in this business, and they are able to see that this is almost, as what a colleague of ours mentioned, this is almost pandemic proof. I had a conversation with someone that, this afternoon, that businesses, economy out there is so unpredictable and so volatile at the moment. So it's actually scaring a lot of people. Excuse me. But if you have the opportunity to make an additional 3 to 5,000 very, very realistic each month into your livelihood, I think it's a great bonus. So I like to share with you baby steps how to get there. But first and foremost, understand that Zinzino's business model is a larger focus on customers. 70% of the focus is to sell to customers. So they are actually, remember their motto, inspire change in life, right? So they're really trying to stick to their motto, and that's to bring change in a larger population in the world. Now, we already know so far that this product works so very, very well, and it's working from the cellular level, from the root level, to help overcome the challenges that we all face. And over a very short, reasonable time frame, 120 days. And it's not claiming because the bottle looks nice. It's claiming because it has a very reliable, accurate, balanced test. So we know that already. So the business model allows us to focus more on the customers. So 70% of our focus on customers, and 30% of them for you to procure, if not recruit, partners. Because we can't do this business on our own, obviously, right? Hence, there is this networking concept. So we have a community of people, and this is the community that we have started, right? So customers keep the business going. Partners keeps us climbing up higher and higher and further into the business. So understand that. So this is really not unlike a lot of MLM business out there that I've started to realize that a lot of them is got to do with find partners and partners and partners and partners, and then forcing the partners to buy. That's really scary. That the revenue comes from the partners' kits, partners' programs, packages. This business is not. This business is helping very realistically customer based, so they are really genuine in what they're offering. So these are the simple steps that I thought I want to help a lot of us here this evening. Now, a lot of you, including me in the beginning, was wondering, how do we do it? And I think I'm going to start this model for now for everyone. So you simplify your thinking. Now, there are 10 ways of making money from Zinzino. There are 10 avenues for revenue I tried to talk about. And I realized that, wait a minute, it's actually very, very tedious, because there are many different conditions, if not privileges, that you need to qualify in order for you to progress. So I thought this evening, I want to share with you this very simple concept of 60 days first life cycle in Zinzino. Your first 30 days, find 4 customers, 2 partners, and by your 60-day, find 6 customers. That will bring you to a prerequisite status of X-Team Express. Don't get too bothered by all this, right? The first 3 stages, Smart Bronze, Fast Silver, X-Team Express, these are pre-qualifying roles to get you to a level where silver, gold, executive, platinum, and all, that's where the serious game starts. But I found the way to do this, and that's by way of starting with your very simple 10 customers, 2 partners model, right? And when you have your 2 partners, what you do is you replicate this 10 customers, 2 partners with your partners. That is one reason why Z-Dream Team is creating a lot of tools for you, excuse me, for you to help your partners to further recruit and to further multiply the numbers. Let's not talk about all this weekly benefits and caps and so on and so forth. I want to start you guys off on a very simple mindset, and that's within 60 days, find 10 customers and 2 partners. All right. Now, we're even not talking about what kind of big ticket item. We're talking about any customers in this case here, because 4 customers out of the 10 customers will give you your product free of charge. And that's why Zinzino wanted the intention, the genuine intention. I really think, after knowing them for the last 3 months, that Zinzino is very genuine company that wanting you, me, to continue to consume this fabulous product free of charge. And in order to enjoy the free of charge product after the 30 days, is you find 4 customers so that your own product becomes free. Does it make sense so far? Yeah, I think it's easy to understand. For any newcomers to come into this business, for a very easy early start, think about, you have a 60-day time frame, and during this time frame, you need to find 10 customers and 2 partners. All right. If you have this very easy, simple mindset, you are then not so stressed out. All right. There are, of course, different deadlines on 30 days. Within 30 days, you must get your 4 customers and your 2 partners. But these are all quite realistic, rather than overloading you too much with all this customer acquisition bonus and one-time bonus and so on and so forth. I think to qualify everyone to a very healthy start line, think about this. Z-Team Express in 60 days, 10 customers, 2 partners, and you help the 2 partners to replicate then on after, right? So think simple, I think, would be the easier way forward. Now, these are all the products made available for you. You have the Zinzino Partner Kit here. Excuse me. Only for this particular group in Z-Dream Team, we have the pleasure of having ZPK1, the Zinzino Partner Kit 1, or also known as the Ultimate Partner Kit 1. Okay, that's the largest package that you have, and this allows you to have 9 bottles of 300, 18 bottles of 100, and 10 test kits. I like this set, and I bought this set because it allows me to very quickly go out there and share the goodness of what I'm trying to do. So you are not tied up, and you don't have to wait for the shipment of the products to arrive, and you can get the business going. I like it, but it is a 4,000 ringgit ticket, right? But if you're really thinking that you want to start small and simple, go for the Better Balance Partner Kit. And that allows you to have 2 bottles of 300 ml, 2 bottles of 100 ml, plus 1 test kit. Oh, sorry, 2 test kit, I beg your pardon, 2 test kit. This is the complete package that you need. You need to do 1 test before, you need to do 1 test after 120 days. 4 bottles, which means really two large and 2 small, would be adequate enough for you to take for 120 days. So this is a very a clever package that you are able to enjoy for yourself, and you're able to see yourself how you progress from it. I won't go and dwell too much about this different packages, but what I'm trying to say here is these are all individual package lists that we have designed for the ease of your use. So please look at your welcome kit so that you are able to gain access to this. Now, as I've said earlier, you may either print it at home, or you can come to the clinic and have it printed. All right. So this is what you can actually use. All right. Or like what I do, because I'm such a anal person on environmental protection, I don't print any of this, but I send it electronically through my handphone to all the prospect customers or partners in this case here. Now, the next Zinzino Customer Premier the Zinzino Customer Premier Kits. My goodness, tongue twisting. these are an array of customer kits that you have to help to promote the business. All right. I found that the better kit is CPK3, and that's 2 large, 2 small, and 1 test kit. That seems to be the better kit to sell to customers. Of course, if you have some datuk guy with 2-3 kids and maybe 2 wives, a big family. Sorry, no disrespect to datuks, but we do have real scenarios like this. That we have a pretty successful businessman that wants to share these benefits with the family, so they are more inclined towards the larger sets. Now, try not to sell everything with the test kits, because it is the test that makes the justification of the entire experience. Okay, so please take note of this. Now, I am making an assumption here that everyone have received these kits or this information. Otherwise, please contact Marvin tonight or tomorrow onwards. We'll make sure that you get to receive them. At the same time, I will try and make this into a flash card for you over the next couple of days by asking Joanne to do so. Okay, so remember, for those just got into the business, please think very simple and don't overstress yourself what big packages to sell and so on and so forth. Please just think that you need 10 customers, 2 partners for the first 60 days to get you going. And the packages that you want to sell out of it, I highly recommend the customers kits to sell them, the CPK3, and for your business partners, if you can, get them to buy the ultimate package, if you can. Now, incidentally, we have Christine from Norway to come in to talk about the ultimate pack within the next couple of weeks. So she's going to come back in and talk to us about that. Okay. So I guess this is really where I am. I'm going to leave you on that note this evening. I think we are in very good time. I try each week to finish our talk within 45 minutes, if I could. So that's quite a good milestone. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I want to get into a conversation with you guys, should you have any questions whatsoever. Is there any questions? Hi, Luke. Is there any questions from anyone? Our new friends. Brian, welcome this evening. Mr. or Miss HP Heng.
Hello, hi, good evening. This is Heng here.
Hi, evening, Miss Heng.
Hi. Yeah, just a question I've been asked by a friend of mine, because he has high uric acid. So, and he's concerned whether the omega-3, right? Because the shellfish and all this thing, right, has high they call it purine, right? Yeah, and whether with his situation with high uric acid and urea, can he consume balanced oil? So when it comes to all this kind of medical different medical condition, right, by the people that we try to approach, who can we go to get a more professional guide? Yeah.
Okay, as I've said, we have Kate, which is a professional nurse within the group, but this evening, with the exception, Dr. Shabnam. It's 9 o'clock. Dr. Shabnam is the medical officer or director in this sense. So we are more than happy to be able to answer you. But in addition to that, if there are conditions that we are not used to or not familiar with, there's Dr. Colin in the UK, and of course there is the medical panel that we may be able to get access to. There's a Dr. Abraham in Malaysia, a Malaysian doctor rather, that works with Zinzino full time. I think he would also be available to answer questions. But let me take this question on uric acid, your concern. I have not heard of any direct challenges for people with uric acid to consume the Zinzino balance oil. Yeah. So then the other question is, I guess, is will it reverse it? So Kate, have you got any insights on this?
Yes. The balance oil is coming from 3 fish only. So they're coming from anchovies, sardines, and mackerel. So those small fish, they only eat plankton. So the reason that why they choose those 3 fish, they only eat plankton. It's an organism in the ocean, and it doesn't contain any purine. Just at what you said, all the seafoods might contain purine, or it makes our uric acid high. But those 3 fishes, and also the fish oil coming from those 3 fishes, they go through with the distillation process. So even though there's still some like mercury or heavy metals in it, it was removed before they put it in our bottle of balance oil. Are you satisfied with my answer?
Okay, I take note of those answers because yeah, then I will be able to tell my friend and not to worry and try to consume, because he has been watching his uric acid and urea and very careful with the food. So we try to introduce him with this, and that's how the question come about. But yeah, let me bring back that information to him. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? Well, you know, most of us are already maybe 1 month, if not 1.5 months into the balance oil. I would be so very happy if I could get or start to hear from you guys on a weekly basis from your personal experiences. Yeah. So please feel free to share with us. So as I said earlier, before the start of the session, I'm going to launch the Zoom room 15 minutes before 8 o'clock every time to allow us to have a more casual and interactive chat. So it's not really about me sharing only, but it's about all of us sharing amongst ourselves. So please try to be interactive in that sense, right? Okay, so if there's no other questions, I'd like to thank you all once again for coming in this evening to listen to my sharing. And let's see what we can do next week onwards. Now, on the other note, please take note that next Wednesday would be the professional induction, new partners induction programs. Okay. So next Monday will be the partners. Wednesday would be for new partners, and then every Friday is for customers. Okay. So I will see you guys on Friday this week. Okay. So until then, thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good
Goodbye.
night. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Good night.